Philip Blank first heard about his doppelganger from a co-worker. "Hey, Philip," they said with a puzzled look, "I saw you downtown yesterday, but when I called your name, you just walked away." Weird, huh? Philip hadn't been downtown at all. At first, he dismissed it as a mistake, but then it happened again and again, from different people in different parts of the city. It wasn't long before Philip saw him, the double, identical in every way, from the way he walked to the way he smiled, even down to the clothes he wore. It was like looking into a mirror, but the reflection had a life of its own. The double moved freely through the city, interacting with people Philip knew, as if he had always been there. Most would be terrified, but not Philip. Where others would panic, Philip saw opportunity. He had lived his life cautiously, always wary of consequences, of the eyes of others. But now, he realized he had a scapegoat, someone who could take the blame for anything he did. The thought thrilled him. It was a freedom he had never known, a freedom to indulge his darkest desires. Philip began to test the boundaries. He started small, shoplifting, vandalism, petty crimes that he had always imagined but never dared to commit. As expected, the double was blamed. People whispered about Philip Blank, the quiet man who had suddenly become so reckless. But Philip continued, pushing further, savoring the thrill. Soon, petty crimes weren't enough. The fantasies he had buried deep began to surface. He started stalking, targeting vulnerable women, and when the time was right, he acted. The first murder was sloppy, but the rush was intoxicating. He knew the double would be the prime suspect, and it would only be a matter of time before the city turned against him. As the killings escalated, Philip watched from the shadows, unseen, as his double's life unraveled. The doppelganger was arrested, his face splashed across the news, labeled a brutal serial killer. Philip reveled in the chaos, in the knowledge that he had finally freed himself from the constraints of morality, all while ensuring that someone else would pay the price.